Hello, my name is Evangeline Dooc, and I'm in Communications 111.
These are the audience members.
So, I want you to imagine that you're an outstanding member of the community. You have an amazing family, you have a great job, you have an amazing reputation. But that's all slowly starting to slip away. You lose your job because you forget how to work. You forget why you ruined your amazing reputation. You forget your grandchildren's names, you forget your spouse's face. And this isn't a uncommon occurrence. This has happened to millions of Americans diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, including my grandfather. And although this is a completely debilitating disease, I believe that with knowledge about the disease, what happens during the disease, and innovations that we are designing, I believe that we can provide hope and support for these people until we find a cure. And many of you might already know some things about Alzheimer's. You might know that it's a type of dementia, and that dementia is a neurological disease in which you have memory loss and develop an intellectual disability. And many people believe that is a natural part of aging that targets specific groups of people and is deadly, or is not deadly. But the truth is those 3 points are completely false. It's not natural to be stripped of identity or to have such high amounts of protein in the brain that you are no longer able to function. You're also not, it targets anyone and everyone. Every gender, every race is subject to this disease. And it doesn't just affect the old, like the name suggests, senile dementia, but it will also affect the young. The MCRH has reported that its youngest victim is 27 years old, and it is deadly. It has become the 6th highest leading cause of death in America. And it's not just because it affects the old, it actually shuts down communication in the brain so that you're literally just a brain without a body to enact anything. You die for this reason. And the symptoms make it much more bleak. When I was born, my grandfather was one of those outstanding members of the community. But by the time I have my earliest memories of him, he was often disoriented, had mood swings, he was unable to walk, swallow, or talk, and this was all due to plaques and tangles. These are proteins in the brain that block off communication through communication channels called neurotransmitters. And this also causes an increase in other neurological diseases like epilepsy, according to Drs. Pandis and Scarmeas. And as the patient is losing himself, a family member loses something dear to them too. They lose a beloved one. And I think it's a true testament to the strength of family that they're able to maintain a love for their family members while they're slowly slipping away. And thankfully they're not alone. They have lots of support here in Anchorage through companies like Geneva Woods, who will provide hygiene care, and Serendipity, which is a day rehabilitation center, to make sure that family members are able to go to work or school while their family member is still having proper care. But why would we need people supports if we had an actual solution or some sort of thing to prevent progression of the disease? The truth is we don't. We actually only have hope, and that's all. We have hope for the research that we have in science to find a way to eliminate the disease. Some of the ways we are doing this is the National Institute on Aging is researching to find genes for familial Alzheimer's disease. And they found 3 genes for early onset Alzheimer's, which is diagnosed before the age of 65, and 34 sites of interest for Alzheimer's, late onset Alzheimer's, which is diagnosed after 65. There's also a student named Naomi Rodriguez who actually just graduated this year from Service High School. She was able to develop a early diagnostic test for Alzheimer's by having cerebrospinal fluid, which is liquid from the brain and spine, tested for concentrations of beta amyloid, also known as plaque. Hopefully these innovations will develop so that we are able to find a solution and eliminate this disease. To conclude, Alzheimer's is a neurological disease that affects patients' memories and functions by plaques and tangles. And it will cause a patient and a family to lose a loved one, but they are resilient enough to find value and worth in each other's lives. And because we lack a cure, we hope that science will bring new innovations to eliminate this disease. We are able to see the devastation of Alzheimer's disease, but we have to remember their families and their victims, And we need to still hope for these victims and their families in their unforgettable struggle. Thank you very much.